Gotti's on the same team. And I think everyone wants to downgrade LeBron's greatness because he's been dominating for so long that when he doesn't make the playoffs or his team loses, we call him washed. Like,
but that's how the narrative always goes. We're looking for the next superstar that we want to build a hero, and it's the guy that we knew. He doesn't have it anymore, so we create this drama where I think in LeBron's case, he's gonna come back with a vengeance. He's got perfect running mate. Back like he never left.
Okay, what didn't he do last year?
Broke his streak of going to the finals. But I didn't say he didn't do anything right or wrong.
But what I'm saying is
it wasn't the best unit. He got hurt. Actually, that's what
he got hurt. And they were in second place. His team got hurt.
Right. At the time he got hurt, they were balling.
Yeah. So
I thought they were third place.
They were second. Yeah. So that's the funny part about it, that someone's made us believe that he had a horrible year. So the fact that he needs to come back with it, he averaged 27, 8, and 9.
You know what the thing is? I don't think any of the people that said that, I don't think they actually looked at the numbers.
They just look at all of the
not good anymore.
Yes.
That's what happened.
Like, oh my God, he's washed. He'll be out of league. Right, 27, bullshit. 8, and 8.9. The fuck are you guys talking about? What game? What basketball game are you watching?
But it's like Tom Brady though. Every year, it's like, is he too old? Is he?
And that's what I said. It's
whatever.
Like,
and that's just gonna happen now.
So the fact that you have a guy who's playing the small forward, and the power forward, if they go small ball, and then his running mate averaged 26 and 12, didn't play in the fourth quarter because they were benching him because they didn't care about actually winning. That is his co-partner, 26 and 12 in limited minutes. And you got them both on the floor, sitting at 6'10 and 6'11. I don't.
How the fuck do you stop that?
I don't know what everyone else pretending they're looking at, but I don't know who's gonna actually stop them. Like, the only thing that stopped Anthony Davis last year was coach. And the only thing that stopped LeBron last year was actually nothing. Like usual.
Right.
I mean, usual nothing. Right. So now you got both those guys on the same team playing.
So he is AD the guy that you've always said LeBron needs that closer to play with too, though?
Anthony Davis is not a closer.
Yeah. So who's the closer?
They're gonna have to go get one, figure it out. I mean, the thing is Lakers is winning 2020. Let's just they're winning next year. They're
okay,
100%.
But they still at this point think they need something, which I agree with. I don't think they're done yet.
They still need to fill out their roster with a few players.
But they made a lot of moves to get other players, like those roles or those shorter contracts, whatever. But I agree, they don't have a takeover ISO finisher.
No, but they have a bunch of guys that complements the style they're going to play to win. I mean, they will probably at some point have the biggest starting five in history. If you start LeBron at the point, throw Kuzma or KCP at the 2, Anthony Davis at the 3, throw Boogie Cousins at the 4, JaVale at the 5. Or you can go, still got Kuzma. You can go Kuzma at the 2, Anthony Davis, Boogie's. Then your whole fucking lineup is 6'10", agile and jumping.
Your finisher lineup, though, would be Boogie at the 5, AD at the 4, LeBron at the 3, but he might even actually...
LeBron at the 1, Kuzma, Kuzma and KPZ. Or if
Danny
they find
Green.
Or Dan... It depends on
because think about Danny Green.
Depend on who's playing that well. The defense has no bearing on this unit because you literally have LeBron, defensive player, Anthony Davis, defensive player,
Avery Bradley. Don't forget.
Kuzma's all right.
Avery Bradley.
And then what I'm saying is,
I think he's going to be a slept-on contributor for that team.
Another guard defender. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but That helps them a lot. Dirty work player. But
what I'm saying is the lineup is so big. Where are you going?
You talking about to finish the game?
No. What I'm saying is, where's a player going? You can't get to the basket because you got LeBron's going to jump. Kuzma's going to jump. Anthony Davis is going to go. Boogie's going to try to jump. Can't jump. He's going to try. And then JaVale's going to jump. You got 4 super athletes.
Boogie's going to bang.
But I mean, you have 4 super athletes contesting shots. So really, when it comes to defense and like that team just has to play. Mm-hmm. You know, you get a guy in that's like a 6-man. You come in and get a Jamal Crawford or something like that. Now you have a guy who can finish and make shots, sitting with a bunch of super studs in the back. All right, this team is more dangerous than anybody thinks.
Yeah, no, I think they are. They're deeper than people are giving them credit for too. All right, so we'll talk about that finisher. I do think Danny Green, catch and shoot player, last shot.
A catch and shoot guy is not a finisher.
Hear me out though. To play with LeBron, he can kick to him. That's LeBron's one.
A catch and shoot guy is not a finisher. A finisher is a guy who creates his own baskets.
I got a couple though.
Not a fucking guy who's like a plant in the club sitting there. It's called atmosphere. He's just sitting there waiting for someone to create a shot for him.
Okay. But like I said, you got a guy that can hit shots. Now to have an ISO player, how about Melo?
Melo's not washed, but he's not who he was.
Sure.
Remember, was it last year when he was
Houston?
When he was with Houston, and I said from the beginning he should have went to the Lakers. Mm-hmm. Houston is a bad fit for you because you're going to be a third option sitting in the corner. That's not your style. Even when people watch you, like in the summer, Hoodie Melo, that's still not your style. You're a bounce the guy. You're a bounce the ball guy. You're a rhythm guy. So the only team that needs a rhythm guy is Lakers. So where you will come off the bench and you contribute 18 points and finish the game. Now you're a little older. A little slower. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to rely on Melo.
Well, let's say you're a GM. You have to see him in a workout. I don't think a year makes that much of a difference.
It makes a big difference.
It does. I understand. But
how many games did he miss?
He didn't play last year.
Yeah, how many games did he miss?
Well, he was 10 games in Houston, so technically 72.
So 72, he missed 72 games.
Yeah, but he's rested for a year.
And he's deactive for a year.
Let's see how in shape he is my question.
I don't care about shape. It's just rhythm, playing. Because you got to remember, you only played 10 games this year. You were horrible the year before. So that's 2 years removed of uncomfortable basketball. It's a big difference. Mm-hmm. That's 2 years, not one. It's 2 years from playing basketball how you played it. You just got by in OKC. You were just there. Try to figure it out. And you didn't figure it out ever. So that's 1 whole year lost of actual Melo basketball. Then you missed all last year, Melo basketball. Now you got to come back and be the stud? No, I go after a player like Monte Ellis or something. Mm-hmm. You know, like the Brandon Jennings type.
That's what I like a lot.
That's the type of guy that someone who's fast enough to get to where he needs to get, who can suck a defense. There's nobody sucking in on Melo at this point in his career. It's a one-on-one. It's a one.
Say that, but I got a guy for you. But I just do want to say this on Melo to look at the glass half full is where he was in New York. I think the issue in Oklahoma was that he didn't want to put his ego aside to take a reduced role. Then when he went to Houston,
he didn't put his ego aside.
He said, "I'm not coming off the bench."
Yeah, I'm not coming off the bench.
Right. So it was almost like his pride held him back more than a coach or anything else. Then when he goes to Houston, he was toying with that idea, but he wasn't completely bought into it. Now he would be.
Your game has to match.
I also think he has an old man's game.
Your game has to match. If you train like a superstar, You train like the go-to guy. You train like you have 15 seconds with the ball. And then you get in the game and you got 4 seconds with the ball. Everything you train has no meaning to this. Like all these guys that's training, all these kids that's training, coming down, ISOing, doing all these moves in the AAU, and they sit in the fucking corner in the game because the star player has the ball. Everything you just worked on does not impact the game. And now you don't know how to play. Now you look terrible because you need the ball because you've been training like that. So the fact that, yeah, Melo can shoot, but you find out, he can't shoot when it's just catch and shoot. He needs the rhythm to his shooting. So instead of seeing what happened in the OKC and spent the whole summer just catching and shooting, knowing D'Antoni's style, that most of your shots are going to come off of catch and shooting, or looking at the style they played and understanding how to score. Like, oh, they don't have a post-up guy. They don't have a slash guy. They don't have a backdoor guy. They don't have a flare guy. I can be all of those and not mess up these guys' rhythm. But the fact that he didn't do that to come in and impact shows the difference. So because he hasn't trained like that, he doesn't know it. Has nothing to do with ego. He just doesn't know it. He doesn't.
Can't train and say, I'm going to do the same old thing and be the same old player. At this point, you're right. I get that. But, okay. All right, so we have another guy. But before we get to him, you have to take a break. And I got to say, you look trim. Like, the hair looks good. You shaped up. Is it because of one thing? Manscaped?
Yeah, you already know.
I mean, I didn't know if that's a secret.
Yeah, come on, man. You got to stay clean.
All right.
You got to stay clean. People watching. People looking.
Yeah. I'm taking notes. But I think since we got involved with Manscaped, it's changed your game. So, as everyone knows, support for the No Chill podcast does come from Manscaped, who is the #1 in men's below-the-belt grooming. Oh, this is another one I can't look at you when I talk about. Manscaped offers precision engineering tools for your family jewels. So, I still can't look at you, which is awkward.
Just go.
Right. So that's why Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer. Their Lawnmower 2.0 has proprietary skin-safe technology, so this trimmer won't nick or snag your nuts. Manscaping accidents are finally a thing of the past, and you don't have to use the same trimmer for your face as you do on your balls because that is just nasty. Manscaped has also developed the Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. You already put deodorant on your armpits, while you're not putting deodorant on the smelliest part of your body. Think about that. So, we got something for the fans of No Chill Podcast. Keep you fresh, smelling good.
Fresh, smelling good.
It's all about the hygiene. So you get 20% off plus free shipping with the code
No Chill.
No Chill. There's always that. No Chill. At manscaped.com. It's always the right tool for the job. It's always Manscaped. Your balls will thank you. So remember to get 20% off and free shipping and a free travel bag. Use the code NOCHILL at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping and a free travel bag at manscaped.com with the promo code
No Chill. No, what's funny is you say their balls are like, no. Their girls will thank you because you don't smell like hoop nuts.
Hoop nuts.
Hoop nuts.
Yeah.
The hoop nuts smell like, you've been playing basketball all day.
Yeah,
you don't want that smell.
Yeah. I mean, by the way, shower. But we've been in some locker rooms here lately, and there's that funk to it. That odor. Can't help it. But speaking of help, we also want to help people get jobs here in No Show Podcast. Because hiring used to be hard with multiple job sites, stacks of resumes. It was a confusing review process, but today hiring can be easy and you only have to go to one place to get it done. ZipRecruiter.com/NoChill. So go to the site and use that promo code. ZipRecruiter sends your job to over 100 of the web's leading job boards, but they don't stop there. With their powerful matching technology, ZipRecruiter scans thousands of resumes to find people with the right experience and invites them to apply for your job. As applications come in, ZipRecruiter analyzes each one and spotlights the top candidates so you never miss a great match. ZipRecruiter is so effective that 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. So when you're looking to hire, looking to build out your team and your roster,
Mm-hmm.
you go to ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter.
All right. And if you're looking for a job, you go to ZipRecruiter. All right. It only makes sense. Everyone's helping each other.
Yeah.
That's how it works. And so for right now, for listeners of the No Chill podcast, if you're looking to find a job and post a job, try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/
No chill.
All right. That's ziprecruiter.com/ no chill, NOCHILL, ziprecruiter.com/ no chill. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. We're smart.
We are.
We are.
We are.
I was hoping that wasn't a question coming back.
We are.
We are. We are. All right. So also, speaking of being smart, who is another smart fit for the Lakers? And I got a guy.
Okay.
All right. He's had his moments.
Mm-hmm.
Moments where he is brilliant. He's got some of the best highlights you've actually seen in the past 10 years. But he's had some low points too. Some meme-worthy moments. But a guy I think is a good fit. ISO player. You might want him down the stretch. How about J.R. Smith? Thoughts?
As an ISO player, when was the last time J.R. Smith was an ISO player?
I'm sorry.
Another shooter, yeah. Another athletic guy, yeah.
Got to kick too,
Yeah, but we're talking about ISO.
ISO off the dribble.
That means Kyrie type.
Not that.
That's-
He's not that.
No, I know. That's what they need. They need a ISO guy who create his own buckets. That's all they need.
He's not enough of that.
That's not
just a catch and
that
shoot
hasn't
player.
been his role in a long time. Monte Ellis.
Okay, fair. I mean, I just think for JR, he can slash. He's not. I think he's more than just.
You need a guy. You give him the ball. He does his thing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need him to think about nobody else on the team because that's what everybody else is for.
Mm-hmm.
That's the player they need.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I said. Technically, yes. JJ Barrera, those are the.
Really?
That's what he did for that Dallas champion.
Minute, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. That type of guy, you don't have to be a stud, but when JJ got in, JJ took over.
Brandon Jennings, I think he works in a lot of ways. I don't know his chemistry with those other guys though. If that would work.
You don't need. That's what I'm saying. Your go-to guy doesn't need chemistry. He just needs to keep everyone honest. So when the floor shrinks, give him the ball. He scores. Everyone focuses on him. Everybody else eats.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what Greek the Freak don't have. You don't have a go-to guy. You can't be the go-to guy because you don't possess that part of your field. You can't shoot. You can't create your own in a small in half court. You have to be coming full speed. You can't truly play back to the basket. And then what you do that no one else talks about is he switches position to not be guarded by an actual defender. So if he's playing Utah or any of those guys, he'd go let's say he plays the Lakers. Instead of playing the 4-man, they make the team smaller, so he's the 5-man, so JaVale has to guard him. So he comes full court against JaVale.
So he doesn't switch at the Budenholzer coach.
So it's a smart lineup, but you don't have a go-to guy when the floor gets small. Middleton's not.
Middleton is their best option.
Best option.
He's not that. He's not like ISO. He's not Joe Johnson.
No,
type.
he can't dribble past the 3-point line. I mean, he's just not a. He's not a creator. So they need. That's all I said. Brandon Jennings. Monte Ellis. Those type of players.
I mean, we've seen Joe Johnson lately.
Bucket Joe. Yes.
I think for Joe, I mean,
that's observation. You just need a faster. What I'm saying is, you need someone fast. You already have a bunch of slow guys.
Yeah.
Joe is.
At this point, he's not an up and down guy.
No, Joe is he needs to be on a team he can fit in great with a Philly. Philly need a guy nice. Like that.
Yeah. How about Boston?
No, Boston's they have nowhere to go.
What do you mean nowhere to go?
They don't. They have no hope. There's no hope over there. You don't have. I mean, you don't have anything. There's nothing.
I think you have
nothing.
Jason.
Yeah, the future.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you have nothing. You have the future. Bunch
You
of
mean
young guys.
they're a
Yeah,
rebuild. I wouldn't even call it a rebuild. They're just a young team.
They're so rebuilding that they don't know that they're rebuilding, but they're so rebuilding. Gordon Hayward is gone next year, so they can free up money to.
I mean,
I won't be surprised if they get rid of Kemba and Hayward next year after next season.
I mean, I think the duo. Speaking of duos, is Kemba and Jason.
But you got to remember, Kemba's old.
Jalen is the one that I think is an odd fit with that personnel.
23 and 22 is off fit versus 32 and 21.
Gordon, I think is
32.
30.
Kemba's about 32.
Kemba's 30.
And
29, 30.
No, Kemba's over 30. And you're going to mesh him up with a 21-year-old? No. It's not a good fit. The older guy's
So
going to go.
they give it one season?
They give it one season, realize they don't have anything, and then get rid of them both.
That's harsh.
Because your team is too old and too young.
Okay.
So where do you go from there? Like, if Kemba was 26, 25,
Yeah, I think that happens a lot. It's the chemistry equation on the fly.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do. You really have to be, and I think for them, I don't think it's really much of a secret. They wanted Anthony Davis. I think pairing him with Kyrie was the move. Didn't work, so they sort of just reboot.
And that's the problem. The winging it, the winging it is what holds franchises' hand.
But it's hard because you can have a plan, but then there's some X factor there. Anthony Davis didn't want to go to Boston.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can make all the room and make the best play.
So when Kyrie left,
then that happens.
Kyrie leaves, which you knew he was leaving.
Right.
Instead of signing Kemba, why don't you just ship Gordon Hayward somewhere?
But I thought that was going to happen. I mean, what do you do with Rozier too? That was a question.
Yeah,
Obviously, that happened.
But that's what I'm signing back. Like, that was the move. That was your future move. And I think that's what uneducated thinking. Like, there's the people who make the decision, they're smart in what they got a degree in. Smart as in basketball knowledge. No, because you didn't play it. You don't know what meshes. You don't know the ins and out of what it takes because you've never been a player. So if I know I have Rozier at 23, Jaylen Brown at 23, why am I going to blank on young fella? On Tatum, 21, right? They've proven together those three play amazing basketball, right? Those three together play amazing basketball. Jalen's making what? $3 million. Mm-hmm. Rozier, $500,000. Tatum, $3 million. So you have three players together, they're studs together. You have three studs making less than $7 million together. From there, you lose Kyrie, who was a young player too. You lose Horford, who was old. And then you have, who's left? Gordon, who's old, because this old guy is taken away from one of my young guys. Actually, two of my young guys, because you're taking Brown out. Tatum don't know how to play with you. He probably don't like you because you took Brown out. Kind of fucks his game up. So with one old guy, you take away two guys. Mm-hmm. So that's what ends up happening.
Yeah, and they're also kind of at the same position too. So you don't.
But that's what I'm saying. So you're taking away one guy is taking away two guys,
right?
Because he wasn't there at the beginning to establish his dominance. Mm-hmm. So Gordon Hayward, bringing him back, putting him back in the lineup, you take away two talents. Then you bring Kyrie back, you take away all of the talent because now Terry's gone mentally. Mm-hmm. Tatum don't know if he's the one guy or the two guy or now the third guy. He's the third option now when he was the first option most of last year. So you kind of threw the balance off. So someone who actually knows the sport will understand Horford is too much. Yeah, you don't want to pay that kind of money for Horford to stay with this group. He's a dinosaur in a sense. You let him go once Kyrie's gone. Then you try to trade. So now you have Kyrie money and Al Horford money free. You try to get rid of Hayward. You try to get rid of Hayward, try to get some young pieces back, and then from there, you have enough money to go after anybody.
But okay, so the reality is they don't have Terry. And first of all, I think Danny Ainge knows basketball. But I'm going to say this. I think he had a
Win.
I think he had a
Win.
in the 80s.
When, like, I love how all these amazing moves are coming. What win?
With the Celtics? With
Kevin Durant?
Kevin Garnett?
Where he called his best buddy and say, hey, can I have Kevin Durant?
Use your resources.
But that
Kevin
has
Garnett.
Yeah.
He's talking about Minnesota, Kevin McHale.
Yeah. You call on your buddy to get your buddy, your best player. That's all. That's it. There was no genius. There was no genius behind none of that.
But the genius is they got a championship. My point is he had a plan, and he got all these draft picks, right? When they blew it up with Paul Pierce and right. So then what you do is you say we're going to get guys like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and what they did. But then you kind of like fucked yourself because you got all these young guys, and the combination of what you were going to work with might not work. It wasn't really a plan. You just had a bunch of assets.
You had You had a bunch of assets that played well together. Then what you did is you went out and got two superstars.
Right. You
overshot you tried to shoot your load with players that didn't fit with this core group.
But the plan was this, like, so we can get all these young guys that are cheap and they're young talent. We can develop them, but then we'll have all this money to get the superstars.
Yes.
And they'll just make it work because they're superstars.
Yes.
It's not always the case.
It was the two wrong superstars.
Right.
Because those two wrong superstars, when they're subbing out your core.
Right.
You got to remember, that same group, actually not the same group, just had a bunch. You didn't have Tatum, but that team with Isaiah Thomas played amazing.
Yeah, that wasn't,
no, Tatum wasn't there.
I know.
But Brown.
But it was just Brown because you didn't have
Rozier?
Hayward that summer.
No, Hayward was on that team.
Mm-mm. With Isaiah Thomas, no.
Yeah, he was. Yes, he was. Because they was fucking cooking my Wizards. Yes, he was. You had him and one of the brothers.
Morris brothers, right?
One of the Morris brothers.
He got hurt that first game.
Who?
Against Cleveland. Gordon Hayward.
That was the following year. They didn't have Hayward.
What are you talking about?
You said Horford.
Hayward.
No, yeah, they didn't have Hayward. No, that's what I said. You brought in Kyrie and then you signed.
But think about what they had, and that's the thing about Gordon Hayward coming out of Utah. He is like the Swiss Army knife player, right? So he can score, he can defend, rebound, like kind of cleans up messes in here and everything. In theory, he actually was the right guy to get, but with those young guys,
it wasn't the right guy to get with your team.
No, but I mean, you're saying like we have this like one-on-one master creator ISO play with Kyrie, and then they had Hayward first. They signed him first, so they're kind of saying like, oh, that'll just fit because he's a complementary player, and Kyrie is like the alpha of the group. But it didn't.
Didn't you already have your draft picks by then?
They had,
So you already signed Tatum,
right?
Yeah, so you already had.
But you had Tatum, Brown.
So you already had Tatum and Brown. So you already had.
And then they got Hayward in beginning of July.
So what I'm saying is you already have 2-3 men.
Yeah. That's where you had too much.
And then they were going to go donkey and put Hayward at the 4.
Yeah.
Again, a team that just went to and did well without any superstars, and then you try to destroy it instead of just adding
in other words, it's a lot harder than it looks. And I think that's why we're going to get to the third team,